On a previous episode for landed typology, right, we have spoke about bungalow, semi-D, cluster, townhouse, and terrace and lot, corner lot. Okay, so I think the video, thank you for those who have watched and commented, and I have received more things to clarify about, so I thought I'd make this video. The first question that I got was, what is zero lot bungalow? Zero lot bungalows are actually semi-Ds, but if you look at it, right, as we mentioned, like there's a semi-D, which is just land split into half, right, and two units are there. So instead of putting them together like this, they put it adjacent this way. So if you notice, zero lot bungalows, one side of the building cannot have openings, not windows, not doors. So most probably they will stick it to the boundary line and to seal it off as if it's like a bungalow. Yes, you have 4 sides of opening space, but you only have 3 sides of opening for the building. So zero lot bungalows are actually semi-Ds built separately. What are linked semi-Ds? Linked semi-Ds, these are just languages of developers, right? They want to mix up the confusion when I mentioned in a previous episode. Linked semi-D means it's a link house that looks like a semi-D. Houses, terrace, because terrace houses used to be like all together, right? So what they do for linked semi-D is they want a house to look like a semi-D, where the front is protruding out and the back is protruding back, so you can't see. So what they do is the joint between terrace houses, they make it into a small little space. Then that makes it looks like a semi-D, but in fact, linked semi-Ds are link houses. What's the difference between individual title and strata title landed developments? Individual title, usually they are built around last time, and what they cannot do is they cannot be guarded or gated because the road belongs to the government or local authority, because they need to maintain it. If there's a pothole in the road of the conventional landed houses, right, it's the responsibility of the local council to fix it. So residents will call, hey, sudah rosak, then people come and fix. Then like the lamp posts, the fire hydrants, all this kind of thing, the padang, the maintenance, the leaf sweeping, all are the responsibilities of the local council. Therefore, you cannot really seal the road itself. Let's say there's an access to your housing area, right, and your residents all decided to just close the road. It's actually illegal. So if not, how the rubbish truck is going to come and access? How's the TMB people is going to come and give you their electric bill, right? But the government knows that there's the concern of security, so that you can actually form a RA, which is Resident Association. So you gotta go register it, and you gotta have signatures, I think. Then you go and submit, and you go and apply for the guarded license. So you can actually employ your very own security guards and to actually have boom gates to control your security. Then in individual title houses, right, you can do whatever you want with the house, but you need to submit your drawings to the local council. I mean renovation drawings, because there are restrictions like building bylaws. You cannot extend your house out from the gate, from the front doors, how much, or you extend out to the back boundary, how much, because there are fire requirements. So all these are very important, but a lot of people take it for granted, and there are now many cases, especially end lots or corner lots, they build as if it's their own local council. Then what happens is local council will issue summon. So they can issue summon, or they can really ask you to knock down your renovation again to build back as if. Then for individual title, of course, you don't have to pay maintenance fees, but then that becomes a problem, because you want to maintain cleanliness but your neighbor don't want. Then, and always, like, because in my house, my old house as well, we are struggling to collect maintenance fees for the security guard that we formed RA with. we need to go house by house to collect security fees, and I seriously don't understand why most of these people, they don't want to pay. So they rather have their neighbors to pay for their protection. Then for individual title landed, unfortunately foreigners cannot buy, although it's more than 1 million or 2 million in Klang Valley. Individual title landed properties are not allowed for foreigners to purchase. Moving on to strata title, right? The cons is that you cannot renovate, but I see it as a pro, where you have this uniform language all across the development, and anytime a new buyer comes in, right, now people want feel, not only a house. It's no longer a need, but because choices are in abundance, you have a lot of choice and people like what they feel, right? And in strata, you need to be in the management committee. So in a strata development, the process used to be like this, where when they hand over keys, there will be a JMB, a joint management body between the developer and the purchasers. So because everything is still under maintenance and the developer are still liable for all the defects of the property, after 1 or 2 years, the residents all start moving in already. There are more population of residents. They will form a management committee, then they are called it MC. When you form an MC, meaning the JMB will hand over to the MC, and this is usually supervised by management companies or lawyers. So they will form who's the president, who's the secretary, who's the treasurer of the residence itself. And then these will have all the responsibility of maintaining the development. There are a lot of unofficial or unregistered management companies. What they do is they collect all money and they just siphon out to their own very contractors and things like that. So to prevent this now, management committees will need to understand that licensed management company, property management companies are important. As a resident of a strata title property, you will need to participate in this kind of community agendas. By having that understanding of strata title, right, then you will start to know that, why can they don't build gates? If you don't build gates, then it forms that belief, and you cannot build or rectify your external part of your property, right? Then you won't encroach into people's boundary, you respect the boundary, and all landscape is maintained by the management committee. Then it becomes uniform, everybody enjoys the facilities. However, all this comes with a maintenance fees, and because Strata Act has just revised a new one which is called Strata Management Act, that also allows people that users who do not pay maintenance fees can be penalized legally right now. They can actually just if you don't pay, they have the first reminder, second reminder. If you still don't do anything, final reminder, you still don't do anything. They have they can engage lawyers to actually lock, or police they lock your unit, and they can actually auction out your unit or clear out whatever in your house. There are cases already showing that actions are already taken to buyers who are not paying their maintenance fees. And maintenance fees are not a lot. Most of the time people are selfish, where I don't see why I need to pay so much. You're paying for the park, you're paying for the road, you're paying for the landscape, you're paying for the security, you're paying for the maintenance of the lamps, the utilities, and things like that. That requires a lot of work. Okay, so they are also sinking funds just in case big things like your external fencing needs a revamp, or the entire system of your security needs to be revamped. This huge amount will then be useful with having all these sinking funds. Also, there are now problems or issues that the developer did not register their development as a strata title project. So 3 to 4 years ago, most of these people buy what they thought was a individual title, but then ended up it's a strata title. So then they need to pay maintenance fees. Then they are like, why? There are also the other case where they thought they are buying a strata landed development where you have a guard house, dedicated roads and things like that, but then the development is not registered under the building by the building department of the government. It then becomes illegal. So that's a problem, and these are the projects that are actually very luxurious. Then newer projects like this one, like Bayan and Arasia from Tropicana Aman, they're trying to keep the maintenance fee really low because they notice or they are aware that these kind of maintenance fees are usually the pain points for residents. Therefore, what they do is they, instead of having a club, because in strata title projects, right, you need to have a community area where you need to provide facilities. Like a condo used to have swimming pools, gym, surau, tadika, a lot more, because it's all compulsory. But then in a landed strata, you will then need a community. So what they do is they build community spaces which requires no maintenance, a bit like cleanliness lah. Then they'll have parks, outdoor parks, basketball courts, no swimming pool. We call it zai lah. Zai, which is like pure nothingness, which is that facilities that require the least amount of maintenance. That's all for this episode. If you have any more questions about typologies of buildings or properties or real estate related, just do comment below. I will try to answer them. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, like it, share it, and even hit that subscribe button for more informations like this. Until next time, I will see you guys soon.